Hi guys, it's Lana. I don't really know how to start this video. It's a sad video. It's gonna be emotional probably. I'm gonna try my best not to cry, because really I've cried too much. And most of you know, since most of my subscribers are family and friends and things like that, that I recently went through a miscarriage, and I just wanted to make a video telling my story because I feel like this is something that is really common actually. When you look it up and you research it, it doesn't seem that common, but really it's very common. I can't even tell you how many women reached out to me after this happened to tell me that they had went through the same thing, and it's just something I wish I had known more about when I was pregnant. It's so funny. In my first video I talked about tocophobia and fear of pregnancy, and for me that didn't mean being scared of miscarrying. It didn't mean any of that. I was scared of actually giving birth and all of those details of what that meant, and I didn't even think about what could happen while you're actually pregnant, or about losing my pregnancy. It's just not something that crossed my mind. Unfortunately, that's what ended up happening. So I'm here to tell the story from beginning to end to right now, and yeah, so shortly after my first video I felt just amazing. I felt like I had just released this big thing that was just holding me back. It made me feel not like, I don't know, like it just, my fear was overrunning my excitement of being a mother and all these things. But after I released my first video, just the 3 or 4 comments and messages that I got from people made me feel like I was sane and that I was okay and that I was ready to kick ass and be the best mom that I could be. So and I also had like a bunch of friends just helping me through. One of my bestest friends in the whole world, Delaney, sent me this book, and I got right into reading this, and you know, skipped over some of the scary parts, but I went right into reading this. I started thinking about names. Immediately I came up with the name Emerald Jane, and it just stuck with me, so that's what I call her. To this day I don't know if it would have been a boy or a girl, but that's what I call her. And sorry, I didn't realize this was gonna be so hard to talk about. Anyways, so I got right into the names and the nitty-gritty of everything. I had a lot of friends that were so supportive. They were having me go get free baby stuff. I had that whole entire second room in my apartment filled to the brink with baby stuff. I mean, carriers, sleepers. I already had a crib. I went full force into motherhood because I don't know any other way to do things. When I was in my addiction, full force into it. When I was sober, full force into it. And when I was a mom, I was full 100% into it. And that's the only way I know how to do things. So I already had a name picked out. I already had my, I literally had my nursery planned out. I knew exactly how I was gonna decorate it, the whole shebang. And I ended up changing jobs for my baby because I work at preschools. A lot of you know I'm a preschool teacher, and the school that I was working at was too far away, and I don't drive. Your girl do not drive, so I needed a closer place, and hopefully one with cheaper childcare for when my baby came along. So I found that. And this job was horrible. Let me tell you, this job was horrible. There was lots of violent kids at this job. The management was really poor. I'm not gonna get too much into my job because that's not what this video is about at all. But it was horrible, and I still went to work every day, wasn't late a single time while I was pregnant. Some mornings I was literally on my way to work throwing up with morning sickness. It was horrid, but I still fought through it because I would have done anything and everything for this kid. And anyways, So I was finally getting this excitement that I was going to be a mom, and I was going to be a damn good mom. I was reaching out to other women, other moms. I was creating like a support group of other moms. I was taking this to the fullest seriousness level that you could possibly take it. And then, my fear started to subside. I think once that fear started to go down, I really was like smooth sailing. I felt I had a healthy pregnancy. I wasn't worried about too much. And then, weeks went on. And, I would look at my ultrasound picture from 4 to 5 weeks, all the time. And, just in case you guys haven't seen it, or I don't think I put it in my last video. I don't remember if I did. But this was, no, you can see that. This was my, sorry for my gross nails. That was my 4 to 5 week ultrasound. And I remember, when I had that first done, I asked, like, does it look okay? What does it look like? Like, she said it looked fine, that it looked like a healthy pregnancy. It was not ectopic or anything. I hope I said that right. I don't think I did. And so I held on to that. I really had no worries that it was not a healthy pregnancy. And I asked a friend to come with me to my first quote-unquote real appointment. This was my 10-week ultrasound, and I was very, very excited. A lot of like my fear had gone away, but my stress level was really intense because I was working full-time and trying to manage all the changes my body was enduring. So my stress level was really high, and I wanted a friend to come with me. So I thought that this appointment would help my stress level. I thought that it would probably motivate me to just keep on doing what I was doing, and that all would be well after this. So we go in, and they do, I went the midwife route. So a couple of my midwives came in, they did my checkups, they did the questions and all of the things that they do, and then they did their first ultrasound, which is the stomach ultrasound, where they just go over your stomach, and they did it for a long time, and I just knew something was not right, because my first ultrasound, they found it in 5 seconds. This was taking minutes and minutes. It seemed like the longest, probably only 5 minutes of my life, but it still seemed like a really long time to be not finding what you should be finding in your ultrasound. And I just had this like gut-wrenching feeling, like, oh my god, like I don't even know how to explain it, but my chest just like felt like something was pushing on it, and I just prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed, and I was trying not to cry. I knew something was wrong, but I just prayed, and I kept praying. And then they said they were going to do the second ultrasound, and they were going to do the heartbeat test. They did the heartbeat test, and she just kind of looked confused. She was like, yeah, I don't really hear much, but she said, your uterus sounds really loud, like there's a lot of blood flow coming in, which could be a good thing, so really I just can't hear anything over that. And again, this time I felt like my chest was just like feeling like I was pushed on, my like whole stomach was turning. And then they did the second ultrasound, which is an internal ultrasound that they actually have to put this thing inside you and move it around, and it's usually a lot easier to see. And this last time, she just didn't look hopeful. She didn't look like this could have been a mistake. And she looked at me and said, I just can't see anything. She said, this is really strange. We don't see a wall like they normally would see, like a sac, or what they called a wall, I think a couple times. They said that we don't even see that. So we're really not sure what to do at this point, other than to just go have you get your blood tested. And so this whole time I'm walking down to the lower floors to go get my blood tested at this hospital. And you know, they prick me with the thing, and while we're walking out, Lisa's just like, what do you need? Like, do you need me to say something nice? Do you need me to ask you questions? Do you need me to not talk about it? And for the first time in my whole life, I didn't know what I needed, and it was so weird to me. This whole entire situation and thing that happened to me just really made me realize that, like, I don't know everything. I really felt like I knew how to get through anything and everything until this point, and I didn't know what I needed, so I just shrugged my shoulders and I said, I don't know. And there's just like tears going down my face the whole car ride home. I'm just crying. And the nurses even told me, like, you know, don't worry, there's still a 1 to 2% chance we're wrong. I was not holding on to that 1 or 2% chance. There's no fucking way I was going to do that. You know, I know what odds look like. That was not very good odds to me. So I started my grieving process. I cried and cried and cried and I cried. And I didn't know who to turn to. I felt like I couldn't turn to my spirituality because why would God do this? Like, I fought through my fear of pregnancy. I still kept my pregnancy, and not only that, but I kept a healthy pregnancy. I worked out. I ate healthy. I ate, like, all the things that you're supposed to eat. I kept working. Like, I completely, like, threw myself into motherhood and into this pregnancy, all for it to be with no baby. I couldn't, like, wrap my head around it. It just really didn't make sense to me. It didn't feel fair. And since I had already grieved and I already knew, like, hey, this isn't working out, you know, I just was so sick of all the doctor's appointments, and it doesn't end there. It's not like, oh, okay, go on your merry way. Like, no, that's not what happens. Okay. I had to go in for a second appointment. I had to get that second blood test done. And then, you know, we did a second ultrasound. Well, this time third, technically third from my official doctor's appointments, ultrasound. And this time I told the lady, I didn't know this lady. She was an ultrasound tech, so I didn't actually know who she was. But I told her, like, hey, I'm here for a miscarriage. And I wanted to, you know, make sure she knew that so that she didn't say anything that got my hopes up, because I went into this appointment knowing that I could not get my hopes up. I'd already grieved. I didn't want to backtrack. And she's doing her thing, and it takes her a while, but she finally sees something, and she goes, oh, that's definitely a baby. It's kind of small, but it's definitely there. I'm definitely seeing something. We're gonna assume that's the baby. It starts taking picture after picture after picture, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I was, like, worried for nothing. I started to get my hopes back up. And she hands me this envelope with all these pictures, and I told myself, don't look at these pictures until your doctor sees you. But what do I do anyway? I open up the ultrasound pictures, and it looked like a small, like, very, very, very small baby. It had, like, a little arm. I don't know. And I got my hopes up, and we go wait. I'm, like, shaking. I am just sitting there for, it seemed like 30 minutes, and finally my doctor comes in, and she says, I'm so sorry, but we did see something, but it doesn't look like a 10-week-old baby like it should. It looks like 5 weeks it stopped growing. And I told myself I wasn't gonna cry. I just said, oh, okay. Like, I didn't know what to say to this woman. I think I was just, like, mostly in shock, and they wanted me to talk to the counselor that they had there, and they were so sweet, but I just was so upset and angry. I just wanted to go home. I don't know, to know that whole entire time that I was so happy that I was pregnant and that I was going to be a mom was, like, my body didn't even know it wasn't pregnant anymore. They told me that I had a miscarriage. And again, it doesn't end there. You don't just get to go home and go on your merry way. they said you can either wait a week or so to see if this happens naturally. If you pass the embryo, you can get a D&C scheduled, which is the surgery, or you can take the pill and hope that that works out fully. I said I want to see if it happens naturally. So I waited a week. Again, I don't want to get into my work thing because this isn't about my work. But I ended up getting fired over this miscarriage because I couldn't work. I was in a lot of pain. But it wasn't actually happening. I wasn't bleeding. I was just cramping really bad this whole entire week. Yeah, the week went by, nothing happened, nothing significant anyway. And so I called my doctor and I said, hey, like, do I need to come in for an appointment? Like, is there something wrong? And she said, nope, this is normal. You just need to pick if you want to do the pill or if you want to get the surgery. And for some reason, I picked the pill because I wanted to do it at home. And honestly, if you want my full honest opinion, that was the worst idea that I'd ever had, or worst decision, I guess. It was horrible. I just remember taking the pill and really nothing happening. I mean, it started my cramping, but nothing really serious happened. And I thought it didn't work because 3 days had gone by and nothing had happened. I hadn't bled at all. And then all of a sudden one day it just hit me. I was out running errands with my boyfriend and I just feel these like cramps, but they were like nothing like I'd ever felt before. And everyone tells you miscarriages are like really bad periods. Like, no, they're not like bad periods at all. They're awful. And maybe people tell you that to make you feel better about the situation, but I'm here to be honest with you. It is not like a bad period. It is so much worse. I was having contractions. I felt like I was going to pass out. I was like sweating and sweating and sweating. It's like being in labor is what it felt like to me. I mean, I've never been in labor, but I know what labor looks like and what people say it feels like. And it just like my whole stomach was contracting and like felt like someone was like clinging onto my stomach and then letting go. It was the most painful thing that I think I've ever had to endure. I just remember like sitting on the toilet bleeding and just crying and praying for it to be over. Like it was awful. Yeah, I got through it somehow. Luckily for me, my miscarriage didn't last too long. The worst parts lasted a couple hours, like maybe 2 hours. But I know that some women have it much worse than that, so I'm grateful that it didn't last, too bad after that. Just some light bleeding. I'm still currently bleeding, and spotting and things like that. And I think, I don't know, it's done a lot more to me emotionally than I thought it was going to do. Like, I've never lost someone close to me, so I've never really grieved before. But I don't even feel sad anymore. Like, sometimes I do, but for the most part, I just feel like empty. Like, I threw myself into being a mother and a teacher and all these things, and not only did I lose my baby, but I lost my job, and so I'm just completely lost here. At least it feels that way. And yeah, I don't know what to throw myself into now. I don't feel as confident as I did when I was a mom. I don't know if very many people have also gone through this. I haven't personally read anything or saw anything online, but when I was a mom, I was really confident. Like, I had this mom glow. I didn't care that I was a little bit overweight because I'm a fucking mom. Who cares? Like, I'm having a baby. Like, this body is having a baby. Like, I didn't care at all. And now, like, I feel incredibly insecure. Every day is like a reminder that I'm not pregnant anymore. I think, like, how many weeks I would be now. I get all these like stupid notifications to my email from Baby Center and all these other baby apps that I signed up for that I don't know how to turn off. and it tells you exactly how many weeks you'd be, and congratulations. And even on my last video, I get a lot of like, you're gonna be a great mom, like congratulations, like you'll get through this. So I felt the need to post an update. And a lot of people say like, oh, you'll have your rainbow baby one day, or you know, there was probably something wrong with the egg and that's why it didn't last. Like, all these things just don't help. Honestly, nothing I've tried helps, so I don't mean to say that offensively, but I've bought plants, I've tried to eat healthy, I've started going back to the gym, I'm on antidepressants now. Like, all these a million things that I'm trying to get over this and heal from this is not working. I pray every single day to figure out like what is missing in my life right now. Why am I not happy? Why can't I get through this? And I don't ever have any answers. So that's where I'm at. I know that that's not really healing. I know that that's not really happy. But that is just where I'm at. So yeah, you know, grieving's funny. I like keep all these sunflowers and sunflower things around my house now, because I used to call Emerald my sunflower baby. And every time I see a sunflower at the store or at Goodwill or just planted somewhere outside, I think about her. It's so hard to grieve someone that you never saw, you never heard. I don't know what she looks like. I don't know what her voice sounds like. I don't even know if she knows who I am, but yeah, it's tough stuff. And I just, thank you for all the support and trying to be present and hold space for me. I don't really know what I'm doing to get over this, and I don't really think anyone has this like magical answer for me, but I did want to put my experience out there because I know I'm not the only one that's had a miscarriage. It is awful. It is horrible. It's something a lot of women don't think about, and I wish that I did, and I wish I had more like knowledge on the things that could happen. You know, when you think about miscarriage, you think about like all this bleeding and all these symptoms and signs and things like that, and that is not the case. Not a lot of the time it's not. Anyways, I appreciate everyone that's still sending me love. It's really hard for me to reach out lately, because I just feel like everyone's probably sick of hearing about it, but everyone's been really sweet seeing them. I'm gonna show you guys my cat. She's my baby. Say what? You want to say hi? She's mad now. Okay. Goodbye, kitty. She's so sweet. Anyways, I love you guys. Thank you for watching.